I also agree with Vincent Gallo's take on welcome to the podcast. We agree with Vincent Gallo about Norm Macdonald. I think.
Oh yeah, I love how he took the opportunity of this man's death to insult another man,
to say Lorne Michael should burn in hell. So sick.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald, another American tragedy, though actually he's Canadian, so my condolences to Canadians
Canada.
everywhere. He's the only thing that you guys had going for you, and now he's gone.
He was so great. Norm.
Yeah.
I was really touched by he was like one of a kind.
Yes.
What?
Absolutely. No, he was one of a kind. There was nobody.
Is that
I went over there asking for a job. I said, we need to talk about women in stand-up. And he put his hands down my pants like a meat hook.
I froze.
I would be so honored and flattered to be groped by Norm.
I know. That would be a dream come true. He would that's the thing, is he would never do that.
He wouldn't
do
that.
We all know it.
You know that really...
He's like the only person with any integrity in comedy, basically.
Yeah. He's a totally weird, bizarre guy by the looks of it, but he actually seemed to operate... He was like, Omar
Christian.
from The Wire. He seemed to operate according to his own internal moral code. If some allegations come out that prove to be true, I completely take that back in advance. But he had like that classic thing where he's like in the car with Seinfeld, and Seinfeld's like, the thing that bothers me about the Cosby stuff is the hypocrisy, and he was like, well, what bothers me is the rape.
Oh yeah, not me.
No, he was really one of a kind. I was sitting there like struggling to figure out, because I watched a bunch of Norm clips obviously after he died.
The Hillary Clinton ones bring me so much like peace and joy.
I mean, there's so many. I like the Conan moth monologue,
of course. All great hits.
All the SNL stuff, the SNL monologue when he
talks
back
about being fired. And such a G.
Yeah.
Lost all his money 3 times.
Yeah.
I love the other one that I really like is with Dennis. I think he's talking like Dennis Miller about how he's not gay, but if he was, he'd want to be with a guy with a really small cock. Truly like a terrible loss.
Yeah. And truly an unfunny and terrible comic.
It wasn't even funny.
It would be really
just
funny.
Acknowledge this. We need this space to talk about comedy, which is my workplace.
When I first saw that unsafe workplace tweet, I was like, whoa, this chick is like the greatest living satirist of all time. She runs laps around Norm Macdonald, and this is a woman. And then I realized she was being fully unironic.
Yeah.
I like almost couldn't believe myself. And then there was that New York Times obit that I screen capped too and tweeted about. That was like, we need to talk about Norm Macdonald.
His anti-trans. Late in his life, he made anti-trans remarks that he later apologized for.
He made fun of people with Down syndrome. It's like what Kenny's dad says to him: 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag and friends with faggots. A lot of the criticism that like was circulating about Norm that day just sounded like a Norm bit, you know?
I know.
It had that quality to it. And I was thinking, like, what makes Norm so great and magical as a comedic wit, like aside from his obvious strategy of taking corny and unfunny things and delivering them in a funny way.
Well, he has this like impish, mischievous, it's like something ineffable and charismatic about him.
Yeah, the delivery, the voice. I was like, too many people are talking about how funny Norm is, and we're not acknowledging how hot he was.
He was so hot, dude.
And then
there's some pics of him.
Yeah.
Oh my! On Weekend Update, dude.
Yeah. You know why he was hot? That I can answer with certainty, because he was like a classic generic 90s man.
Totally.
Like Harrison Ford.
Well, style has a lot to do with that as well. You know, Norm never I don't think I've ever seen him in like a bad outfit.
Yeah.
You know, he's very like restrained and neutral in this hot way.
Just like a leather jacket and some dumpy blue jeans.
Yeah.
I feel like the only guy holding the torch for Norm style these days is Adam Carolla.
How is he dressing nowadays?
Probably like a leather jacket and t-shirt and like dumpy blue jeans.
Good. I'm glad he's staying true to his roots.
No, but I was trying to figure out like what it is that made him funny, because he, like all great artists, he had that thing that he was able to take his highly idiosyncratic and personalized idiom and translate it into a canon. Mm-hmm. Like I think he inspired, just like watching those clips over again, he inspired so many comics.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I was thinking of all the comics that I like, and they all have shades of him. But he also, like all great artists, he was like the definitive one who also inspired a lot of bad. Like he gave rise to that whole detached and ironic Twitter idiom that I loathe so much.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. I'm not saying it. No, I don't mean it in a critical way.
His influence. Yeah,
it's his influence. But like the problem with being influential is that you spawn a lot of good, but you spawn a lot of bad too, because everybody.
But no one's ever done it like
nobody
Norm.
Can do it like him.
No one can do it like Norm.
And also, like, what a class act!
Not talking about how he had cancer.
Yeah,
I know.
Not telling my story.
He did not tell his story till the day he died, like a good Irish man.
Oops.
Sorry. The baby's sad about Norm too.
Yeah, he's crying. Yeah, that's like, I don't know, it's like cool and upright and dignified that he was essentially like, aside from his tremendous fame and influence, he was like a totally like private and unknown person. Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't like a mega star, you know, even he was, in a lot of ways, was sort of like underrated. Like the Norm show wasn't really like
a thing,
a hit. And he like, I mean, I guess the last decade or so since he's had cancer, he hasn't really been stepping it up with the
just like fluctuating in weight.
With the he was looking. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, Norm.
It's so Irish also to suffer for a decade with cancer and not tell anyone about it.
I know.
It's like so Irish young, Catholic abnegating. God. Wait, how old is he? Like
61.
60? Yeah. Well, that's the thing with also he's like a truly comics comic because he's like a walking tragedy that makes light of himself. Mm-hmm. Like comics are such sad and ill-fated people.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like they're doomed.
The best ones are. Yeah.
There's no other way about it.
One of my favorite things Nick Mullen ever said was like, if you want to hang with the clown, you have to drink his tears. Oh, God.
We're not even 20 minutes in. We've already blown our load on Norm.
Yeah, we'll just repeat our favorite
Norm is also, you know, like I've done this bit on this pod many times, but he's also proof that Irish comics are funnier than Jewish comics.
Yeah, that's a big
controversial thing that I say again with no pleasure.
That's a hot take of yours. I agree.
I think it has to be said at my own expense, at the expense of my people.
I just want to pull up. I'm going to pull up. I'm literally going to go on YouTube and just pull up a Norm video.
Yeah, let's just play.
First lady, a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village. And furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book. Meanwhile, President Clinton is hard at work on Tuesday's State of the Union address, in which he'll focus on crime, education, and the economy. At the request of the First Lady, part of the president's speech will be huge lies.
Yeah, there's another one where there's like a photo of like Hillary like walking ahead of Bill Clinton. And he goes, "Slow down, you bitch." He just calls her like a bitch and a liar. It's amazing.
It's so cool that he saw right through her.
And the OJ jokes. I mean,
yeah, that's what he got fired for.
Allegedly. Allegedly, that's why he got fired. But OJ also murdered his wife.
Yeah, in cold blood.
I posted that clip of him on The View.
That was really
about
great.
How Bill Clinton's a murderer.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And his, like, just, it's, the impishness really does, like, he can get away with so much.
And everybody's
because he's
like,
so innocent. He seems so innocent when he says it, but it's so true.
And like the ladies are frustrated and annoyed.
Yeah, like, come on, Norm, cut it out.
But they can't do anything.
They can't do anything. He's too powerful.
And they can't like accuse him of being like
he says like, I thought that was a matter of public record.
Actor.
Yeah, because he's being so like, what? You didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Clinton, he killed a guy.
But yeah, I think like just like his talent also comes from the fact that he like refused to traffic in generalities in a way. I don't know if that I'm going to struggle to articulate what makes him so special other than his kind of like deliberately corny shtick and hilarious delivery. It's like he was very kind of specific as a comedian.
Totally.
Like a lot of comedians traffic basically in tropes and archetypes. Yeah.
And he's uncompromising, which, as you have said, is a euphemism for like autistic. He's like, well, maybe a little. He's definitely not autistic, but he's like has a fun, spurgy energy too. That's really hard to pin down.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim Dillon said something like unrelated and off topic. Who, by the way, I think Tim Dillon actually takes a lot from Norm too.
Yeah.
In the grand tradition of Irish comics, but he was talking about how like he's an unadaptive person.
Tim or Norm?
He is Tim.
Yeah.
And how like when you make money, you basically buy yourself the ability, the right to be unadaptive. Like you can say no to things and turn things down.
Yeah.
And like I think that that's beautiful. Like I very much relate to that because I'm a very like unadaptive, inflexible person, and like
yes.
I feel embarrassed and suffer about it, but then I realized like no, that you should be unadaptable. Like the whole problem with like the neoliberal paradigm is that everybody's too flexible and adaptable and always conforming to different scenarios and assimilating, and Norm was like his own person.
Well, he, much like me, didn't know how to drive.
That's great. Wait, did he have a chauffeur? I can't imagine he did.
I think he had like an
took Ubers.
I think he had like an assistant or something that he was probably close to. I mean, he was really private.
Where did he live? Was he in LA?
Oh, I don't even know. He wasn't in New York because people would probably like see him around, but
yeah,
maybe LA. Yeah.
Also, like all comedians, he has the texture of somebody who like once drove a cab. So I'm surprised that he didn't
I was really
drive.
shocked to learn that also. Yeah. Because he does seem like kind of like, yeah, like blue collar.
Yeah.
Like he would be able to like drive a truck if he needed to, but I think
So he's really mentally ill because men who don't know how to drive they are.
Anna.
It's true. Can
it's a psychological blog. But yeah.
What, driving?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand not driving if you're a woman, and I understand not driving if you're like a city kid, but
yeah,
I don't think he was either of those things.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I think his details of his personal life are very opaque. Like, you know, he has like a memoir, but it's all like funny little like essays that aren't true and stuff, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure like all Irish comics, he was born of incest and rape. It's true.
Yeah.
Something ain't right with that boy. Wait, let's look up his sign. That's what I'm curious about.
Oh, good.
I feel like he could be the elusive male Pisces.
I know what you mean, but I doubt it. I bet he's something. Okay, I'm gonna guess. Libra.
You guessed right.
Really?
Yeah, he's October 17th.
That's Libra.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Damn.
You
His
guessed
birthday
right.
was right around the corner, too.
Yeah.
I wish I met him. I wish he had come on the pod.
I know. He probably would have, honestly.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't
I know.
take. And,
I know.
we fucked up.
I know. I want Nicki Minaj to come on the pod, but that's never going to happen because she's like too damn famous.
She's way too famous to come up in your apartment. We'd have to get a studio or something, which we would do. You think maybe she would? I doubt it.
I doubt it, but
yeah, I don't think she would.
I'm just like, oh, you're anti-vax and you have a son too? What's your sign?